quantify 7 years of teaching at Noble? Is it having graduated 2 advisories and taking on a 3rd? Is it the 28 report card pickups and subsequent 112 slices of pizza I've devoured during the dinner breaks? Or with 2 vegetables, only in the last 2 years though. Or with only 2 absences in 7 years, maybe it's the 33 sick days I've acquired. Perhaps it's seeing the number of student musicians at Noble expand from 500 in 2007 to over 3,500 as of next week. Maybe it's being the only person under 30 to get the Mr. Holland's Opus Award presented by Richard Dreyfuss, yes, of Jaws, and What About Bob, and Mr. Holland's Opus, on stage at Carnegie Hall. And despite my stature, the 2 inches of height I have on him, because dude is like this tall. How about the 5-year-long text message chain with Fishman Prize winner Steve Sanders from UIC and People's Teacher of the Year Rob Vega from Rauner? This text chain, by the way, wakes up every school day at 5:45, includes debates on flute techniques, selfies with our jazz bands, what Freshman songs we'll all be doing this spring is our form of intern assessment, videos from our classroom, and sometimes hard to follow feedback, Matt might run best times, hey man, can I borrow a sousaphone? Okay gosh, but you totally cheated in arm wrestling, and doesn't rest until about 10 p.m. Or do I quantify my 7 years in this network with the abundance of Noble and Pritzker swag that has forced me to get a second dresser? And think about it for just a moment. Between all of our students and all of our staff, that's a lot of swag floating around Chicago. So much that Macklemore is about ready to drop Thrift Shop 2. Gonna get Noble swag, only got $20 in my pocket. Getting more polos, some khakis, and a hoodie. Noble swag is awesome. There are clearly many ways to quantify my time here so far, but here's what it comes down to most. Every single day for the last 7 years, I have felt that what I do is important. In his book, Drive, author Daniel Pink uses studies from MIT and the University of Chicago to make the point that people are not motivated by money, but by purpose. In other words, when we are presented with moments to create and innovate, we feel that what we are doing is important, and ultimately we feel fulfilled. Noble is a place where we are presented with huge challenges and the opportunity to overcome. It is no wonder that Mr. Milky gravitates back to Rocky as an example of opportunity, persistence, and fulfillment. It's also no wonder that every time I go running by the original campus, I can hear a tune off in the distance. For today, those students up there, they didn't practice. Instead, they ran a 4.5-mile loop from Pritzker to the Centennial Monument with their trumpets. But Mr. Milky, where are you? Somewhere near? I have a question for you, wherever you are. You can shout it out. Who would win in a fight? Rocky Balboa or Bruce Lee? Rocky, of course. Definitely don't say Bruce Lee. But I bring it up because Bruce Lee gives us a very similar message, which has been my mantra for the last 4 years. Be happy, but never satisfied. These words were first shared with me by my close friend and colleague, the choir teacher at Pritzker, Brian Pavlov, after I was clearly not pleased with our band and their performance at the IHSA music event. He pointed out that I should take pride in having one of the best groups there and with the least amount of experience, and that if I ever felt satisfied, it was only an illusion and maybe time to quit. Now that may sound extreme, but let's look at some examples. John Coltrane, one of the greatest jazz musicians and saxophone players ever to live, would practice during his set breaks. 4-hour gig, he'd go back to the dressing room and practice on his break. Michelangelo, who sculpted David at the age of 26 and then painted the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel at the age of 33, said, "I am still learning," only a couple years before he died at 88. Another example happened just this past spring. My freshmen, who are mostly first-year musicians, don't have their first concert until the end of May. It gets hyped up quite a bit, it's all they talk about for months, and office hours are slammed with a few weeks out. Going into the concert, I was already happy. I knew that they couldn't have worked any harder, and every student earned their spot up on that stage. It was now the evening of the concert, and the cafetornasium, like I'm sure we all have, was swelling with nearly 500 attendees. At the conclusion, I was ecstatic. Every group sounded better than last year, especially the freshmen. Was I satisfied? No, because if I was, next year's bands would take a dip. But that's not my point. The next day it came to my attention that when the freshmen concluded their performance and exited back to their staging area, about a third of the band erupted in tears. Some were sniffling, some were sobbing, and some were even wailing. They started picking apart their performance and confessed their sins of either playing on arrest, missing a sharp, or rushing through measure 45. My response when I heard all this? Good. Not only are small failures some of the best things for our students, but they seem to learn the hardest part of the mantra on their own, never satisfied. Now, of course, I took the time to explain, and by the end of our debrief, they were proud of everything they put into the concert, and therefore happy with the concert itself. So here's the deal. Noble is high stakes for us, teacher, but it's higher stakes for our students. If they could understand that good is never good enough, yet embrace and take pride in the amount of work that goes into the goal of attending and eventually graduating from college, then so can we. So remember, whether Monday is your very first day, if it's your 8th year, or it's your 16th year like Miss Hathaway from the OC, be happy.
It might seem crazy what I'm about to say. Sunshine, she's here, you can take it away. Hot air balloon, let it go to space. With the air, like I don't care, everybody's ready. I love it, you feel like you know how to do. Just fine. Yeah, thanks to you, don't waste your time. Here's what. You can feel like the moon out here. Cause I'm happy if you feel like it is true. Cause I'm happy if you know that happiness is true. Cause I'm happy if you feel like
but never satisfied.